Author, Neil Chinnock, Chief Business Administrator, iTech, Breaking Down the Firewall, Abstract Virtual Private Networks, VPNs, have shifted from being niche tools for IT professionals to essential utilities for millions of everyday internet users. They offer a compelling promise: privacy, security, and freedom on an internet that is increasingly surveilled, filtered, and compartmentalized. But as with all double-edged technologies, VPNs present significant dilemmas. On the one hand, they empower whistleblowers, journalists, and ordinary citizens to communicate and access information safely. On the other, they are sometimes used to facilitate cybercrime, evade law enforcement, and undermine intellectual property rights. This report takes a comprehensive and critical look at VPNs, their technological underpinnings, their social and economic impacts, and the regulatory debates that swirl around them. Drawing on academic research, industry expertise, and real-world examples, it argues for a nuanced, evidence-led approach, permitting VPNs, regulating them thoughtfully, and focusing on the root causes of misuse, rather than the blunt force solution of prohibition. 1. Introduction. It's hard to overstate how much the internet has changed in just a few decades. What began as a decentralized academic network is now the backbone of everything from politics to romance, commerce to protest. Yet, as the internet has become more central to our lives, it has also become less private and, in many ways, less free. Governments collect vast amounts of data, sometimes for legitimate national security purposes, sometimes for less noble reasons. Corporations track our movements, preferences, and even our emotions, monetizing every click and scroll. Zuboff, 2019. Criminals lurk in the digital shadows, seeking passwords, bank details, and identities to steal. In this climate, VPNs have become a kind of digital Swiss Army knife. Initially designed for secure business communications, they now serve a much broader role. They promise to make the internet safer, more private, and more open. Yet this promise is not without controversy. Headlines regularly warn of VPNs being used to spread malware, mask traffic for illegal downloads, or bypass corporate and national firewalls. Some governments, alarmed, have tried to ban VPNs outright. Others have imposed tight restrictions, demanding backdoors or user data. Freedom House, 2022. This essay unpacks the VPN phenomenon in detail. What exactly do VPNs do? Why have they become so central to digital life? What are the risks, and how can they be managed sensibly? Should VPNs be freely permitted, tightly regulated, or even banned? And what happens when societies try to outlaw them? By the end, it will be clear that VPNs are not a panacea, nor are they a menace to be eradicated. Like all powerful tools, their social impact depends on how and why they are used. 2. Enhanced privacy and security. Privacy on the internet is, to put it mildly, under siege. Every website visited, every file downloaded, every message sent can be tracked, logged, and in some cases, weaponized against the user. In this environment, VPNs stand out as one of the most effective consumer-level tools for reclaiming a measure of privacy and security. How VPNs protect privacy. A VPN works by creating an encrypted tunnel between the user's device and a remote server run by the VPN provider. All internet traffic passes through this tunnel, shielding it from prying eyes. To anyone monitoring the connection, be it an internet service provider, ISP, a hacker on a public Wi-Fi network, or a government surveillance agency, the data appears as encrypted gibberish. The user's true IP address is hidden, replaced with the address of the VPN server. This technical mechanism has profound implications. For one, it prevents ISPs from logging browsing habits and selling that data to advertisers, a practice which, in some jurisdictions, is not only legal but common. See Privacy International, 2021. It also thwarts man-in-the-middle attacks, a common threat on unsecured public Wi-Fi networks, where attackers intercept and manipulate communications. Real-world impact. The impact of VPNs on privacy is not academic, it's intensely practical. Consider the case of journalists reporting from authoritarian states. In countries like Iran, China, or Belarus, where internet traffic is closely monitored and dissent is criminalized, VPNs are often the only way for reporters to communicate safely, with sources or file stories to foreign outlets. Article 19, 2022. In 2020, during protests in Hong Kong, VPN usage surged as citizens sought to evade government surveillance and access banned social media platforms. Freedom House 2022. Ordinary users also benefit. For example, in the UK, the NHS has repeatedly warned of the dangers of public Wi-Fi, which is frequently targeted by cybercriminals looking to harvest login details and financial information. NHS Digital 2021. VPNs neutralize most of these threats by encrypting all data, making it useless to interceptors. Limitations and caveats. VPNs are not a silver bullet. They do not protect against all threats. Phishing attacks, malware, and social engineering remain potent dangers. Nor are all VPN services created equal. Poorly run providers may keep logs, sell user data, or even inject ads into traffic. Foster 2023. Some free VPNs have been exposed as fronts for data harvesting operations. Windscribe 2020. For privacy-conscious users, due diligence is essential. Choosing reputable, transparent providers with strong privacy records and clear, independent audits. Security beyond privacy. VPNs also add a layer of security for remote access. In business settings, VPNs have long been used to allow employees to connect securely to internal networks from home, hotels, or cafes. This was once a niche use case. The COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting explosion in remote work made it mainstream. Today, VPNs are part of the basic security hygiene for any organization with a distributed workforce. Foster 2023. 3. Access to restricted content. If privacy is one half of the VPN value proposition, access is the other. The internet was once hailed as a borderless utopia. In reality, it is increasingly fragmented by geography, law, and commerce. VPNs are the passport that lets users cross those digital borders. Circumventing censorship authoritarian regimes use a variety of techniques: firewalls, DNS filtering, IP blocking, to restrict what citizens can see and do online. China's Great Firewall is the most notorious, blocking thousands of foreign websites and monitoring domestic traffic for subversive content. Dybert 2020. Iran, Russia, Turkey, and others have followed suit. VPNs are, for many, the only practical way to access blocked news outlets, social media, or messaging apps. There are countless stories of activists using VPNs to organize protests, share information, or simply stay connected to the outside world. Open Technology Fund 2023. In 2022, after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, both sides of the conflict saw spikes in VPN use, Russians seeking uncensored news, Ukrainians trying to keep communications secure. Freedom House 2022. Bypassing commercial geo-restrictions. It's not just political borders. Content providers, Netflix, BBC iPlayer, Hulu, sports broadcasters, routinely restrict access based on geography to comply with licensing deals or maximize profits. For users, this can be frustrating. A show available in the US might be blocked in the UK, or vice versa. VPNs let users spoof their location and access content otherwise denied to them. The commercial impact is significant. In 2021, it was estimated that over 30% of Netflix's global user base accessed the service via VPN at least once, mainly to get around geo-blocks. Sandvine 2021. Companies have responded by deploying sophisticated VPN detection systems, leading to a digital cat-and-mouse game. Academic and research access VPNs also play a less heralded but important role in academia. Many universities use VPNs to give students and staff access to journal subscriptions and proprietary databases from off-campus, ensuring that knowledge is not locked behind institutional firewalls. Jaisky 2021. Limitations and pushback. Not all VPN circumvention is risk-free or uncontroversial. In some countries, using a VPN to access banned content can result in fines or imprisonment. Content providers have the legal right to enforce licensing agreements and may terminate accounts found to be using VPNs to violate terms of service. Nonetheless, for millions of users, VPNs remain the only way to experience the internet as a truly global medium. 4. Support for remote and mobile work. The global shift to remote work has transformed VPNs from optional add-ons to critical infrastructure. The COVID-19 pandemic was the catalyst, but the underlying trend, work untethered from geography, shows no sign of reversing. Securing business networks. Traditionally, business networks were protected by firewalls, controlling the flow of data between trusted internal devices and the wild outside internet. But as employees scattered to home offices, coffee shops, and hotel rooms, the perimeter dissolved. VPNs stepped in to rebuild security at the individual level, encrypting connections between employee devices and company servers. This is not just theoretical. In 2020, the UK's National Cybersecurity Centre, NCSC, issued urgent guidance for businesses to deploy VPNs for all remote workers, warning of a surge in attacks targeting unsecured Wi-Fi and weak remote access controls. NCSC 2020. Corporations from financial services to healthcare scrambled to scale up VPN capacity, sometimes overnight. Zero trust and the evolution of VPNs. The rise of zero trust security models, where every device and user must verify their identity, regardless of location, has made VPNs even more central. Modern VPNs are often combined with multi-factor authentication, endpoint monitoring, and granular access controls, creating a security mesh that protects data even as it flows across national borders and personal devices. Google Cloud, 2022. Productivity and flexibility. For employees, VPNs are a key enabler of flexibility. They allow seamless access to email, files, and business applications from anywhere in the world. This has made it possible for companies to hire talent from a global pool, support work from anywhere policies, and keep operations running during crises, from pandemics to natural disasters. Challenges: usability and performance. Yet, VPNs can also be a source of frustration. Slow connections, complex setup processes, and technical glitches are common complaints. Some legacy VPN systems buckle under the strain of thousands of simultaneous connections. This has driven innovation in the sector, with new protocols like WireGuard, cloud-based VPNs, and split tunneling, offering improved performance and usability. TechRadar 2023. The future, beyond the VPN. As remote work becomes the default for many industries, some experts predict a gradual shift away from traditional VPNs toward more granular, app-level security solutions. Still, for the foreseeable future, VPNs will remain a cornerstone of business IT security. 5. Potential for misuse. No technology is immune to misuse, and VPNs are no exception. The very features that make them attractive for privacy and access also create opportunities for criminal activity. Cybercrime and anonymity. VPNs can be used to mask the identity and location of cybercriminals, making it harder for law enforcement to trace illegal activities. Ransomware gangs, phishing operations, and dark web marketplaces routinely recommend or even require VPN use for both sellers and buyers. Europol, 2022. A Europol report found that in 2021, more than half of major cybercrime investigations encountered VPNs as an obstacle to attribution and evidence gathering. Copyright infringement and piracy. VPNs are frequently used to circumvent copyright restrictions, enabling users to download movies, music, software, or games illegally. Wallenamp-Williams, 2018. While the scale of this activity is difficult to measure, content industry groups have repeatedly lobbied for stricter regulation of VPN providers, especially those that market themselves as tools for piracy. Bypassing corporate or educational controls. Students and employees sometimes use VPNs to bypass organizational firewalls, accessing blocked social media, gaming, or streaming sites during work or school hours. While this is often a minor infraction, it can have security implications, especially if users connect to unsafe VPN providers or expose sensitive company data. Taylor, 2022. Enabling disinformation and harassment. Less visible, but equally troubling, is the use of VPNs to fuel disinformation campaigns, online harassment, or election interference. Anonymity makes it easier for bad actors to operate sock puppet accounts or coordinate attacks without fear of being traced. The debate: tool or excuse? It is worth noting, however, that blaming VPNs for cybercrime is much like blaming roads for bank robberies. The root causes, financial incentives, weak law enforcement, lack of digital literacy, lie elsewhere. Most cybercriminals would simply switch to other anonymization tools if VPNs were banned. Wall and Williams, 2018. For this reason, many experts advocate for focusing on the causes of misuse, rather than the tools themselves. 6. Impact on network performance and analytics. While VPNs offer many benefits, their impact on network performance and analytics deserves close examination, especially as more organizations rely on data-driven decision-making and expect seamless digital experiences. Network latency and speed. The basic mechanics of a VPN, routing traffic through an encrypted tunnel to a remote server, can introduce delays. This effect is influenced by several factors, including the geographic distance between user and server, the VPN protocol used, and the server's bandwidth and load. Real-world speed drops of 10–30% are common, though high-end paid VPNs have narrowed the gap significantly in recent years. Tech Radar 2023. For most web browsing and email, these drops are barely noticeable. But for latency-sensitive applications, video conferencing, online gaming, stock trading, even small delays can be disruptive. Some users find themselves switching VPN servers repeatedly in search of better speeds, which can be frustrating and time-consuming. Impact on business operations. For businesses, the stakes are higher. Large-scale VPN deployments can create bottlenecks if not properly architected, particularly when all traffic is routed through a single corporate gateway. This can result in sluggish application performance, dropped connections, or even outages, outcomes that can cost money and erode trust. To mitigate these issues, companies increasingly use split tunneling, where only sensitive traffic goes through the VPN, cloud-based VPNs, and distributed server architectures. Google Cloud, 2022. Analytics and data integrity. VPNs can also wreak havoc on digital analytics. When users connect via VPN servers in different locations, their IP addresses may not match their true locations. This can skew website analytics, making it difficult for businesses to track customer behavior, target local content or advertising, or detect fraud. Singh, 2022. For example, a retailer may see a spike in visits from Switzerland, not realizing these are actually UK customers using a Swiss VPN server for privacy or access reasons. Some websites and services actively block known VPN IP ranges to preserve the integrity of their data or enforce licensing restrictions. This, in turn, can frustrate legitimate users and drive them to seek alternative solutions. Balancing performance, privacy, and data. Ultimately, the impact of VPNs on performance and analytics is a trade-off. For many, the privacy and access benefits far outweigh the occasional inconvenience. For organizations, careful planning and modern VPN solutions can minimize most negative effects, though perfect transparency and performance are elusive goals. 7. Legal and ethical considerations. Few technologies sit at the intersection of law, ethics, and politics as squarely as VPNs. Their dual-use nature, empowering both civil society and bad actors, makes them a perennial hot-button issue in policy debates. Legal status around the world. VPNs are legal in most Western democracies, including the UK, US, Canada, and across the EU. However, some countries have moved to restrict or ban them, either partially or outright. China. Only government-approved VPNs are legal. Unapproved use can result in fines or jail time. Russia. VPN providers must register with authorities and block access to banned sites. Iran and Turkey. Both have periodically blocked major VPN services and prosecuted users for circumventing state controls. United Arab Emirates. Using a VPN to commit a crime or access blocked content is punishable by heavy fines. Freedom House, 2022. Even in countries where VPNs are legal, their use is often circumscribed by other laws: copyright, fraud, terrorism, and so forth. Providers may be compelled to hand over user data under court order, though many, especially those based in privacy-friendly jurisdictions, claim to keep minimal or no logs. Nguyen and Clark, 2021. Ethical dilemmas. At their best, VPNs are a force for good, protecting privacy, enabling free expression, and leveling the digital playing field. At their worst, they are a shield for criminality and a challenge to legitimate law enforcement. The ethical challenge is to preserve the former without enabling the latter. There are no easy answers. Overly broad bans risk criminalizing ordinary users and making society less secure by removing a vital privacy tool. Too little oversight, and VPNs become havens for abusers. The most promising solutions are those that focus on transparency, accountability, and cooperation, such as requiring providers to meet minimum security standards, publish clear privacy policies, and respond to lawful requests in specific, serious cases. European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, 2022. Corporate and institutional use, beyond individual use. There are ethical and legal questions around corporate and institutional VPN deployment. For example, should universities be allowed to use VPNs to bypass national firewalls in repressive countries to ensure research access? Should companies be able to use VPNs to circumvent local labor or tax laws? These questions often fall into grey areas, with little settled guidance. Case law and precedents. There is a growing body of case law around VPNs, especially in relation to copyright enforcement, data protection, and criminal investigations. Courts in the EU and US have generally recognized the legitimacy of VPNs for privacy, but have upheld the right of rights holders and law enforcement to seek user data in cases of serious crime. Evans and Thomas, 2023. 8. The case for permitting and sensibly regulating VPNs. The question of what to do about VPNs, permit, regulate, or ban, lies at the heart of the digital rights debate. Here, 4 key arguments support the case for permitting VPNs, with a focus on sensible regulation and tackling the causes of misuse. VPNs are essential for privacy and freedom of expression. A recurring theme from human rights organizations is that privacy is not a luxury, but a right. VPNs are among the most effective tools for defending that right, especially in contexts where surveillance, censorship, or persecution are real risks. Privacy International, 2021. Without VPNs, whistleblowers, journalists, and dissidents are at greater risk of exposure and retaliation. Article 19, 2022. Even in established democracies, the right to read and communicate free from surveillance is a pillar of civil liberty. IT, regulation, can target bad actors without punishing legitimate users. A balanced regulatory approach can mitigate misuse without penalizing legitimate users. This might involve requiring VPN providers to uphold strong security standards, maintain transparent privacy policies, and cooperate with authorities in cases of serious crime. European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, 2022. Tailored, proportionate regulation can deter abuse while preserving public benefit. Nguyen and Clark, 2021. Key. Outlawing VPNs is ineffective and drives usage underground. Experience in countries like China and Russia shows that bans push VPN use into the shadows, making it harder for authorities to monitor and respond to genuine threats. Open Technology Fund, 2023. Underground networks are less transparent and even more challenging for law enforcement to police. Dibert, 2020. Legal, regulated VPNs enable cooperation between providers and authorities, striking a better balance between oversight and utility. Addressing root causes of misuse is more effective than banning tools. Research is clear. The most effective way to reduce cybercrime and other online harms is to target the underlying causes. Economic incentives, weak enforcement, digital illiteracy, rather than banning technologies outright. Wallenamp, Williams, 2018, Europol, 2022. This means investing in better law enforcement capacity, international cooperation, public awareness campaigns, and support for victims. Overly broad bans on VPNs are blunt instruments that often do more harm than good, stifling innovation, undermining trust, and violating rights. Amnesty International, 2021. Conclusion to this section. Taken together, these arguments make a compelling case for permitting VPNs, subject to reasonable regulation. The focus should be on deterrence, accountability, and education, not prohibition. By working with providers, law enforcement, and civil society, policymakers can ensure that VPNs remain a tool for empowerment, not abuse. 9. Table. Pros and cons of outlawing VPNs in the UK. Pros of outlawing VPNs. Cons of outlawing VPNs. Could reduce cybercrime and illegal activity, erodes personal privacy rights, simplifies law enforcement investigations, restricts access to information and resources, prevents circumvention of regional restrictions, hampers business security for remote work, deters copyright infringement and piracy, weakens protection for journalists/activists, promotes compliance with national laws, drives VPN use underground, harder to monitor, damages UK's reputation for digital freedoms. The table above summarizes the trade-offs at stake. While outlawing VPNs might aid law enforcement and intellectual property enforcement in the short term, it risks serious, long-lasting harm to privacy, business, and the UK's standing as a defender of digital rights. 10. Critical evaluation. The indispensable role of VPNs in privacy, security, and SEO. This essay has explored the multifaceted nature of virtual private networks, VPNs, weighing their advantages, disadvantages, and the complex regulatory debates surrounding them. A critical evaluation reveals that despite concerns about misuse, VPNs remain indispensable tools for protecting user privacy and security in an increasingly surveilled and data-driven world. Their significance extends beyond individual protection to impact broader digital domains, such as search engine optimization, SEO, where data integrity and accurate, location-specific research are fundamental. VPNs as essential privacy shields. The core value of VPNs lies in their ability to safeguard users from pervasive snooping by internet service providers, ISPs, government agencies, malicious actors, and even commercial trackers. This protection is not theoretical but tangible, shielding sensitive communications, preventing traffic interception, and masking users' IP addresses to thwart profiling and location tracking. Brown, 2021. Privacy International, 2021. In contexts ranging from authoritarian regimes to public Wi-Fi hotspots, VPNs offer a practical means of preserving digital privacy and freedom of expression. While critics often point to VPN misuse, the analogy to tools like encryption or the Tor network is apt. Technologies designed to protect privacy can be exploited, but their value to society as a whole is vast and irreplaceable. The essay has shown that banning VPNs would disproportionately harm legitimate users, journalists, activists, businesses, and push usage underground, where oversight is impossible. Open Technology Fund, 2023, Dibert, 2020. Linking VPNs to SEO integrity and research. Importantly, VPNs play a critical but often overlooked role in SEO and digital marketing. SEO professionals rely on accurate, location-specific data to tailor strategies, assess competition, and optimize websites effectively. VPNs enable practitioners to view search engine results pages, SERPs, from targeted geographies by simulating user locations, ensuring that insights are reflective of real-world conditions. Brown, 2023, O'Donnell, 2020. Without VPNs, SEO research risks becoming skewed by the researcher's physical location, potentially leading to misguided decisions and ineffective optimizations. Moreover, VPNs protect the confidentiality of sensitive SEO research and client data, encrypting traffic to prevent industrial espionage or data leaks. Kumar and Amp, Evans, 2022. This security function is vital in an era where competitive advantage often hinges on proprietary digital strategies. However, the essay also highlighted potential VPN drawbacks in SEO contexts, slight reductions in site speed, and the impact on location-based analytics accuracy. Singh, 2022. These challenges, while real, are generally manageable and outweighed by the benefits of secure, reliable research and privacy. Critical reflection on regulation and use. The nuanced position advocated here, permitting VPNs with sensible regulation, aligns with the broader ethical imperative to balance privacy rights with security concerns. Blanket bans or over-regulation risk eroding the digital commons, stifling innovation and violating fundamental rights, while under-regulation leaves gaps for abuse. In conclusion, VPNs are not merely optional luxuries, but foundational tools that uphold the integrity of online privacy, security, and even sectors like SEO that depend on trustworthy data. Their continued availability, coupled with targeted regulation and education to address misuse, is essential to maintaining a free, secure, and effective digital ecosystem. 11. Conclusion: VPNs are emblematic of the modern internet. Powerful, complex, and contentious. They empower users, protect privacy, and foster global connections, but they also pose challenges for law enforcement and raise thorny ethical questions. Outlawing VPNs is, as the evidence shows, a cure worse than the disease, one that would undermine digital rights, hinder business innovation, and likely fail to deter determined bad actors. The path forward is nuanced but clear. Permit VPNs, regulate them thoughtfully, and focus on tackling the root causes of misuse. Only then can society enjoy the benefits of digital freedom without succumbing to its perils. 12. References. Thanks for watching.